Killer Frequency is a first-person mystery horror game with heavy point-and-click and decision-based elements that was overall pretty fun. The game is very interesting, taking place in a 1980s radio station where you play as Forrest Nash, a newcomer to the town of Gallows Creek. Little is known about his past, other than he used to have a big job and be a big name for a big radio station in a big city, I think Chicago, before seemingly being fired and picking up a job in Gallows Creek on a late night talk show called The Scream, with a usual average audience of less than 30 listeners. But things take a very bad turn very fast, as this is the anniversary of the infamous Whistling Night, where on this day, September 7th if I remember right, 30 years ago, the Whistling Man, a masked killer, went on a murdering spree before throwing himself off a cliff. I don't remember every detail 100%, so please forgive me if I'm a little off on the specifics. But the Whistling Man is back, seeking revenge for his death, or so it seems. He killed the sheriff of Gallows Creek and incapacitated its only deputy. They do have another deputy, but he was on vacation. The town's 911 operator, I think her name was Leslie, goes to the sheriff's department after attempting to call them with no reply and sees the situation. She sets the 911 dashboard to forward all calls to the radio station, being the only real way to get news out under the current circumstances, and leaves for the neighboring county to seek help from their police. Here the player will receive numerous calls throughout the night from people being hunted by the Whistling Man, and has to do the best they can to guide the callers through their situations to survive. For most calls, players will have to solve various puzzles using items around the station to help the caller survive, such as finding a mechanic's magazine to help one caller hotwire her car after losing the keys, or guiding a caller through first aid after speaking with a doctor on the phone. From here, callers will live or die, but if you mess up, not to worry, as the game has a manual save option, so as long as you save before a call, you can go back and fix errors. I just wish I had realized that before 3 callers died. To keep things mixed up from getting boring, the player will have to explore the studio to find items, and even bonus records can be found that are played on air between calls, and an achievement is unlocked for finding all records, and another unlocked for playing all records. And located in front of your desk is a miniature basketball hoop with a trash can where you can toss in paper balls. It was humorous in its own grim way how I was trying to score some paper ball hoops while trying to talk people through life and death situations on the phone. Moving on, I really like the atmosphere of the game. A radio station in the 1980s. Kind of made me think of the show WKRP in Cincinnati. Really underrated classic comedy about a radio station in the late 70s/early 90s. And as someone who is fascinated by the 1980s in America, this only added to my appreciation of the game. A final positive, this game handled suspense very well. On multiple occasions, caused by both eerie silence and creaking doors while exploring the building, I expected a jump scare of some kind, but didn't get one, only adding to suspense and anticipation. In fact, I only remember one jump scare in the entire game. Very well done in my opinion. A negative I must give this game is how many people had cell phones. While a few callers were from landlines, the bulk of them had cell phones. Kinda odd for the 1980s. From what I understand, most people didn't have them. Performance-wise, the game ran really good. I think I noticed a couple very small audio blips, but nothing to complain about. Overall, I give Killer Frequency a 7.9 out of 10. Really neat game that I'd suggest giving a whirl. Well, y'all, that's my video for today. For those who might be new here, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games. So if that sounds like your thing, maybe check out some of my other videos. Always remember that Jesus loves you all very much. Peace.
We want cheese-dusted pretzels. I want cheese-dusted pretzels. Or I'll cut your face off.
Goddamn kids.
I'm cutting them off.